Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming a video that I've wanted to film for a very long time. I think it's really important and I have some books that I really want to talk about. So today I will be talking about four books that I've read so far in 2020 that kind of deal with mental health, mental illnesses. It's something that I'm very new to reading. Honestly, before 2020, I've never read a book that has a mental illness as the main kind of story, and it's proved to be really helpful for me, honestly. And so I just wanted to give out some really good recommendations if you're looking for one. I think that these books are all amazing, and let's just get into it. I don't know, I just finished the third, and then I was like, wow, these three books together are just so powerful and important. So I'm going to talk about the one that I read first, and that would be Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I also know that I've talked about each of these books kind of individually a little bit during some random videos, but I just wanted to kind of compile them all into one video, so that's what I'm doing. So this follows Aza Holmes. She's 16 years old, she's in high school, and her main mental illnesses are OCD and anxiety. So it turns out that this book is fictional, but John Green kind of has the same mental health issues as Aza, and so he kind of portrays his issues as Aza's. So that just to me made it so much more powerful and realistic. So a little bit of a plot for you. She's just kind of a normal girly, has a lot of anxiety and OCD, which I can't really relate to OCD because I don't have it, but it was so interesting. This book really goes into Aza's mind. A lot of it is just her talking to herself and knowing that what she's thinking is ridiculous, but can't stop having those thoughts. She's really concerned about her health and gets really obsessed with trying to stay clean and free of pathogens and stuff, and that's kind of where her mind always is. In her town, this billionaire goes missing, and so her and a couple of her friends try and find out where he went and his body, because there was huge reward money for his body, basically. So that's kind of the plot line. But to me, this focuses so much more on her internal struggles. I think this was the first book I've ever read that dealt with that kind of stuff and actually talked about it. And so it was just mind-blowing to me. That's why I gave this book 5 stars and put it in my favorites list, because it was the first time I've ever read something like that. And it just really hit home for me. It doesn't end perfectly, because you can't just snap your fingers and those anxious thoughts and stuff go away. But I thought that there were so many hopeful moments, and telling you the struggle never ends, but you can surround yourself with people who help you, and it was so incredible. I absolutely love this book. I really want to reread it soon, even though I just read it this year. It was amazing. It's also relatively short, so you can just sit down and read this whole thing. Oh my god, I love this book so much. So this is kind of more the OCD anxiety realm of mental illnesses. And then the next one I read was Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson. So this is a little bit different. This is an autobiography. So Jenny Lawson talks about her own mental health issues. So she struggles more with anxiety, social anxiety, and depression. This is a funny book about horrible things. Basically, she talks about how she's so over her depressive episodes that she wants to be furiously happy and just take a stab at life and be no, I'm not gonna let this rule my life. I'm gonna be furiously happy. So that leads her to do really crazy things and make really crazy memories, so that she can kind of go back to those memories when she's having a depressive episode. She just goes to Australia and wears fancy ball gowns to random places and surrounds herself with really funny friends. This is kind of darker humor. She really gets through her depression and her anxiety through making jokes about how ridiculous her life is. There's just a lot of little funny stories in here, relaying it back to that this is important stuff and more people need to be aware of what people are struggling with. She includes a lot of how her family kind of struggles with the same stuff. I just thought this book was amazing. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was just kind of a breath of fresh air, and for someone to just be so honest about their life. And she would even, so I think this was her second book, She even goes into like how she would feel really anxious on book signing tours. I just thought it was great like how transparent she was with everything. And because it was more like anxiety and depression, I felt like I could relate more to it because I have had like some of the same thoughts that she's had. And just knowing that someone feels the same way you do, it's just so powerful, and I highly recommend this book. I guess with like all of these, there are of course trigger warnings. I want you to feel like you're stable enough to be able to read this kind of stuff because it can get pretty dark. For me, they were so helpful and just made me like not feel so alone, you know? So loved this one. And then the last book I want to tell you about is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Yeah, this is my latest read out of all these books. I picked this up like on a whim at Target, 20% off, hello. I really wasn't expecting too much. I honestly didn't even know what to expect with this book. Immediate 5 stars, oh my God, added it to my favorites list. So amazing. So like it says, we follow Eleanor, and this is taking place in England, I believe. Anyways, she lives like a really ordinary like 9-to-5 life, like just gets a pizza and a bottle of vodka every weekend and just like lives her life pretty much in solitude, like has really no friends, no love interest. Her life is honestly very monotonous and depressing, and she really struggles with her mental health, and her mom is the worst. She makes Eleanor feel really bad about herself, really inferior, like the whole novel, and I hated her mom so much. Anyways, turns out one of her coworkers, Raymond, one day like wants to hang out with her. They end up like saving this old man that falls down, take him to the hospital, everything. And Raymond turns out to be like a really important person to her and kind of helps her realize that she is someone and she is important, and to not like listen to her mom who's a piece of crap. And this book is definitely like kind of the most hopeful out of the 3. She like tries going to a therapist and just can't quite figure it out. I feel like she more so has depression. I didn't really get huge anxiety vibes from her. It was more so just so much being in your head and telling you things that you know aren't true, but you can't help it, you know? There's also like kind of a mystery plot behind this book that I really, really liked. Like towards the end, there is a curveball, y'all. It is incredible. I cannot rave about this book enough. It was so important and so special to me. It's so clear about her struggles and like how much she wants to get better, but she just can't. And the ending is just really sweet, and I love this book. There's literally nothing else I can say about it to you. Like, you need to read this. It is so special. And along the same lines, I do want to mention one more book that I don't really recommend, but I just want to talk about it for a second. So I picked up My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Tessa Moshfegh because everyone on YouTube was talking about it. So I was like, okay. So I think I ended up giving this book 2 stars out of 5. So these two kind of remind me of each other, except this one is kind of a harsher version of Eleanor Oliphant, because this one definitely deals with depression and anxiety as well. The main character is just really dependent on like pills and alcohol, and I honestly felt gross reading it. I know people love it, and it does kind of give like the same message as this one, but this one's definitely like a little bit more PG. I don't know, this one just made me feel weird. I didn't love it, to tell you the truth, but I just wanted to bring it up because they do remind me of each other. This one is just like a lot darker to me, and I feel like if you don't feel like you're that stable to read a book like that, do not pick this one up because it gets really dark and really scary. Talks a lot about like substance abuse and stuff, and just wasn't my favorite, but I thought I would bring it up. These books are so important. Like, I wish that I had these resources when I was like 16 and going through some stuff, but even, you know, as like a 25-year-old woman, I still like appreciated these books so much. And yeah, if you're like having a rough time like going through high school, pick one of these books up. They're so important, and they teach you so many important lessons, like you're not alone and to reach out for help, and you're not crazy, you're not thinking these things because you're a bad person. Like, it was just, oh my god. I wish that I had read books like these growing up, because it would have helped me out a lot in the long run. But yeah, these mean so much to me, and that was my little video. This video idea has just been on my mind a lot lately, and you know, we're all going through it right now, and so I thought now would be the perfect time to tell you about some like really uplifting, really sad, but like hopeful books. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got something out of it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!